up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little myth buster about some of the misconceptions that happen when people think of Greek life. I've gotten a lot of comments about certain things, and it's just like I really can't believe, first off, the audacity of people, and then also people have these weird stereotypes that they think that everybody in the organization fits into, and it's just like, no, that's not me, that's whoever you probably dealt with. I'm different than this person, I don't act like this person, I don't know this person, and just period, like that's not me. I'm not gonna be a different person just because I have on these 3 letters. So this video is kind of gonna be just a myth buster of things that I've heard and seen, and just stuff that just doesn't really relate to what I think should be the first thought when you think of Greek life, right? So the first thing I want to mention is that the misconception that we pay for our friends. So first off, just because I joined an organization does not mean that I have to be friends with everybody in the organization. Like, I feel that's ingenuine, that's unrealistic, and you really can't expect for stuff like that to happen because those type of friendships don't last genuinely, right? So I'm paying to be a member of the organization, not necessarily to join and make friends. Like, I had friends before the organization, I have friends after the organization. It doesn't really make or break me. The money that we pay goes towards like keeping the organization functioning. So if we have any type of events that we're hosting, you know, sometimes instead of having to ask members to contribute money every time we do something, they'll be like, okay, well, we have money in the reserves, so we'll put forth that money towards whatever we're doing. And while it is a bonus that, you know, we do create some lifelong friendships out of being a member of the organization, by no means are we ever just paying for friendships. I mean, in my eyes, it's almost equivalent to like joining the dance team or joining an organization, you know, joining the football team. I mean, sometimes you pay dues to, you know, be on these teams. Like when I played AAU basketball, there were dues associated with playing basketball. It wasn't just us girls get to play together. Like, no, they had to pay for jerseys and they had to pay for travel and food and stuff like that. So everything comes with a cost associated. I don't know why people hear the term Greek life and they think that we're just paying for friends. No, there are a lot of different organizations where you have to actually pay dues. Like even organizations in school, sometimes you have to pay dues to join, right? So it's not different. Granted, our dues might be higher, but it's because it operates on a level that is so much greater than just your typical whatever this club sport is. Because you'll pay the dues for that club sport. Like, we have to pay dues to make sure that not only the local chapters are, like our local chapter is running, but we also have to make sure that our national program is able to sustain and be functioning. So there's a lot of different things that this money goes toward, and it's not towards just buying friends. So a lot of things that I continue to see and hear is that like our rituals are cult-like, and it's just like, first off, I don't even know what cult-like rituals are because I've never experienced something like that. I feel like I would have to search that in Google, and I really don't know if I'm ready to deal with the, you know, results of what I see. So I'm not gonna do that. But it's just kind of weird to me for people to think that they know so much about what each organization has going on, and they do this, that, and next. And I mean, at this point, it's like y'all acting like we sign our names in blood, like we prick our fingers and we signing our names on a dot in blood. Like, no, none of that type of stuff happens. Like, we don't, you know, we're not worshiping Satan and none of that type of stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, regular, I mean, rituals. Like, it's just stuff that's only for us, that was created by our founders for us to have and to continue. So I mean, I don't know what people think that we do. And granted, I really can't even talk for everybody, but I just know that in my organization and stuff that I've participated in, it's never been like a cult-like feel. You know, we always pray together. We pray during every meeting. We pray during, you know, ceremonies and things like that. Like I don't know where people get this from, and it may be like they've seen some type of I don't know what, I'm not even gonna try to front and act like I know where it's coming from. I really don't, but it's not something that I've experienced, so I can't, you know, add on to that type of thing. But I've never experienced any cult-like type of stuff. I don't think anybody that I know has experienced anything like that, so I don't know where that came from. So it's kind of, to me, like rituals are like family secrets. You know, sometimes you'll have like, think about like when your mother has, you know, if she has a good recipe for something, passing that down is like tradition for your family. And if somebody random comes out and be like, yo, teach me how to make your mama gumbo, you're gonna be like, nah, that's a family secret. Like, I'm not gonna teach you how to make that. Like, that's pretty much the same thing. It's like, these are things that are sacred to us. This is something that we don't want to necessarily share, so we're not going to. It's not like we're just out here doing all this crazy type of stuff. Like, no, there's just some things that are personal to us that we feel like we should be able to keep to ourselves. And the rituals are that. Just like your family recipe. I'm not gonna come to your house and ask you to tell me how to make your mama gumbo, because that's for you and your family. That's y'all's ritual. That's something you're gonna pass down to your family and keep it in your family. I don't need to know that. Our rituals are just that. They're rituals. They're not, we ain't praying to nobody. Like, we pray to God, actually. So if we do pray, we pray to God. So just know that, and that's that. People always think that we think that we're entitled. And while this may be true for some people, it's not true for everybody, because I understand firsthand that I'm the same Shea that I am without these letters on as I am with these letters on. I don't think that they really make or break me. I don't come into situations expecting stuff from people, because I already know, first and foremost, if you like me, you're gonna like me for me. If you don't like me, you're not gonna like me for me. Like, there is nothing that I can do to really kind of, you know, change that around. So I don't try to come into stuff expecting things and, you know, thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get this because I heard this person is an AKA 2, or this person is a D9 Greek, and I'm gonna talk to them and I'm gonna say this, that, and next. No, that's not my mindset going into things. So some people do feel entitled. Some people do feel like once they get these letters, they are better than, and things like that. But it's really understanding the person. So it's not everybody. So you shouldn't have that outlook on everybody and think that everybody acts the same way, because we don't. And I think another thing that comes from that is that when people treat Greeks on campus this way, when you kind of create that, you know, narrative, when you say that they think that they're better than and all this good stuff, when you put this out into the world, you're kind of manifesting it. So you're trying to talk negatively about the person, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of trying to feed into it. You're saying they think they're entitled, and so when the next person sees them, they're gonna think, okay, well, maybe they are. And so when you have that negativity given to the person that's in a Greek organization, then it kind of creates a snowball effect. So now their feeling is that they have to be defensive, and I guess they do have to, you know, be kind of entitled in that way, because at that point it's more of a defense mechanism. So it's really just understanding that it's not fair to say that they feel like they're entitled and things like that, because I mean, not all of us act that way. So it's just knowing the person and not having a negative attitude towards that person, so that they can come back as their most genuine self as well. People always think that all we do is party and drink and things like that. We don't. Partying is a way for us to network. So they do have a lot of opportunities for us to network, but most of the times we're networking like with other organizations. So it may be labeled as a party, but what you don't know is on the flyer it says for your admission you have to bring school supplies so we can give to kids, or we're, you know, at this function, but lo and behold, we're, you know, still doing some type of community service to give back to the community. So it's like a lot of different things that people don't really see, because they only see the fact that, okay, well, we might be partying and we might post a picture on social media, but granted, you don't know the context of what was going on. You don't know what we were doing. You don't know why we were there. You know, you don't know how long we were there. You know, it's just a lot of different things that go into it. So I think understanding what's going on and understanding that it's like way deeper than what the movies show. The movies that you see, like I guess a big one was Burning Sands, and then like Stepsisters, the little movie thing. Those movies, they highlight certain aspects that the producer and director wants you to see, and the writer. They want you to get whatever the message is that they're trying to portray. So if they're wanting you to see that hazing is so important, then that's what they're gonna focus on. If they want you to see that all they're doing is stepping and focusing on stepping, then that's what they're gonna focus on. But they don't let you see that we have charity events. They don't let you see that we do, you know, giving back. Our student leaders in our school, you know, we have some people that are like really big in their fields, like STEM. We have a lot of people in the STEM field. We have a lot of educators as far as like in, you know, high school and college and things like that. So there are a lot of fields that aren't highlighted, and a lot of people that aren't highlighted because we focus mostly on what we see, and that's the convenience of the partying and things like that. So there are a lot of different things that we do, a lot of different ways that we network, and it may seem like all we do is party, but there's a lot of community service that happens as well on the back end. You just can't judge it by what you see on the front. There's just so much more to it than just the partying. like look deeper, and I promise you probably will find something way more than what you thought was going on. This topic I pretty much tried to stay away from because it is so sensitive, and I never want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to be quoted as saying the wrong thing. I don't want to be on camera that I said something and somebody be like, Shay is, you know, whatever. Big thing is, people think that we haze all the time, and oh well, let me try to divide this. So you have the people that are like, you know, they haze and they do this, that, and the next to get into these organizations, and you know, the boys getting paddled by other men and doing this, that, and the next. Like they have all this going on in their heads or whatever. And then on the other end, you have people that are like, everybody is now paper and this, that, and the next, and all this crazy stuff. So it's just like, the hazing thing, it goes both ways. The conversation is huge. Like, first and foremost, hazing is illegal. It's a real thing, and just personally speaking, I'm not willing to risk my career on account of somebody else. Like, that's that, plain and simple. However, there's a difference between hazing and having an actual process. And when I say that, I mean that there is a way to teach somebody something without necessarily having to hit them. There's a way to teach somebody something that can have the same kind of mental effect where it's like they're thinking now and they're learning now without having to touch that person. So hazing is no, but I do think that having a process is important. Actually learning something from what you're doing is important, not just jumping into a situation and not knowing what's going on. There's no reason for somebody to join an organization in 2019 and beyond and not know who the founders of your organization are. Like, there are certain things that you need to know, and it shouldn't be a question. So that part is a part of having an actual process. You need to learn what sisterhood is, what brotherhood is. You need to learn, you know, the things that are important in your organization. And if you don't learn that, then then what was the point of your whole process? So with all that being said, I will say that, again, having a learning process is important. So I will say, as a society, I think that we have become kind of overly sensitive to certain things, and I will say I think that hazing is one of them. I feel like there are some things that happen that we take too seriously as a unit. Now, some chapters do go overboard, and they're like, okay, you can't eat for 48 hours. Like, what is that person learning from not eating in 48 hours? Like, why are they fasting? You know, like, is it a reason behind that? Like, that type of stuff is not necessary to me. That type of stuff is kind of like, you're pushing it. But as long as I feel like the person can actually benefit from it and they're learning, it is something that will kind of build them and they will actually understand the message behind it in the future, I think that certain things you can figure out, like, if it's beneficial. If somebody just asks you, like, can you tell me who my founders are? You know, and they might have a little extra bass in their voice because, I mean, that just might be who they are. That's not necessarily them, like, hazing you. That's just, like, asking a question. So, I mean, it's just certain things that, you know, we have to kind of, I guess, come back down from and not just be so sensitive as, like, people can't, like, people feel like people can't tell them anything. And I think that's where we are as a culture, period. And I think that that's not necessarily a good thing. So as far as, like, hazing, it's a dud. But as far as, like, a learning process, a lot of comments said, like, Greek life is not the same. And I don't know what Greek life was before I joined Greek life, so I can't, you know, kind of say anything about that. But they said, you know, Greek life is dead after you graduate. I would like to say that that's not true, because I have actually been more active in grad than I was in undergrad, and I had 3 positions in undergrad at one time. So there's always so many different events going on. Like, there's always something to do. There's always something to do on the back end, because as you all may or may not know, I am in law school, so my time is kind of limited. So there's always something for me to do. Like, I'm always able to be active and always able to give back in some capacity. So Greek life definitely isn't dead after undergrad, I want to say that I have not been more social and more, you know, going to events and things like that, period. Like I'm at the point now where it's like I'm very, you know, kind of active in certain things. So Greek life definitely isn't dead once you graduate from undergrad. Like that's crazy. Like when I saw that, I was like,
when somebody's saying some dumb shit, look at them like this and say, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
Like, bro, shut up. A lot of people think that we pick based off of looks. The answer is no. Because there are sores that look like, you know, I'm gonna say like a Halle Berry type of person, and then, you know, you have sores that don't look like that. You have sores that are probably on what's technically considered the other end of the spectrum. So a lot of people joke and say, you know, the whole paper bag test thing, you gotta be lighter than that to be an AKA. Like, no, that's not true. Like, no, whatever. Like, we don't pick based off of looks. Some chapters might, I mean, but that's probably more of an undergrad thing. Like, once you actually, we don't care. They got sores that look like me. They got sores that look, that's not even black. Like, I mean, I don't care. Like, we really, okay, I'm not about to discriminate on you based off what you look like, because that ain't got to do with me. If you gonna get back to the organization, cool. Like, that's all it's for. If we gonna be service to all mankind, you don't gotta look like a certain thing to be of service to all mankind. So my organization, for the most part that I know, do not pick based off of looks, and they're not supposed to. I would hope the same is to be said for other organizations, but that's very juvenile if they do so. So a lot of people also say that we're only friends with like people that are only in organizations that are in a D9. Like, that is so maybe reaching, because of course, like, I have friends that are not in a D9. Like, most of my closest friends actually are not in Greek life. The ones that I graduated like college with, none of them actually crossed. My high school friends, like, none of them to my knowledge crossed. So it's like I can't say that I only have friends that are in Greek life, because that's not true by any means. I have a lot of friends that are not in Greek life, and I just recently started to reach out and, you know, create more meaningful friendships with people that are in Greek life. So I think it's kind of the opposite for me. I'm not necessarily one to really cling to people that are in Greek life just because they're in Greek life. Like, just, okay, that's cool. You know, that means that if they have a function you can tell me about, or if I have a function I can tell you about it, and we can support each other that way. But I don't necessarily say that I limit my friendships just based off of people being in the organization, because that's kind of fake, right? So those are some of the things that I've heard that I kind of wanted to bust those myths. Hopefully you learned something from this if you had any confusion or anything like that. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave me some comments down below. Also, leave me a thumbs up and all that other good stuff. If you have not already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, right down below. And also hit the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.